Well, it's always a big occasion when these two sides meet. And for today's encounter, we're by the banks of the Lee. And the throw-in for today's replay is 2 o'clock. Welcome back again to the Sunday game. Now those changes on the Kerry team. David Moran is indeed into the side. He replaces Darren O'Sullivan. And also Anthony Maher, he replaces Michael Quirk at midfield. Well, it's a bonus match here in the Football Championship this summer. Time now to hear from both managers ahead of this afternoon's replay, starting with Cork manager Conor Coonahan. He's been talking to Joanne Cantwell.
Well, Conor, you were a bit annoyed last week that you didn't make the most of the possession you had and the chances you had. How do you rectify that so for today?
I suppose you just have to work on it during the week, talk about it, work on it in the training ground and hope that on the day that it'll work for you.
And is that something that was talked about a lot during the week?
I suppose we talked about it a bit. We wouldn't have overdwelt on it now because, that game is history now. You have to move on, and this game is a totally different game.
There's a very, very strong breeze out there. How will that affect things today, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's unusual for it to be that strong here, but it certainly seems strong now. I suppose it could crowd the situation a bit depending on who has it in which half. But look, it's the same for both teams, so we just have to adapt to it.
After last week, is the key really getting hold of the ball more and getting it into the people who can do some damage?
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, I suppose we have to win more ball around the middle of the field, primary possession. The Cork were well on top of us, for long periods of the game the last day, and our forwards were starved of the ball. But, we're going to try our very best to get our hands on more ball there. It's not easy against these Cork fellas because they're very big and very strong in that area. And I think most teams will struggle against them, but we're certainly going to try and put it up to them more today in that area.
All right, then, we have been asking our panellists to take a look at both of today's teams, and especially in the context of their meeting last weekend in Killarney. Now, here's Pat first. And for a change, Pat, we've been asking you to look at the Cork team.
Well, being a good neighbour, I'd like to help them out in any way I can, Michael. So let's look at it. From last week, they dominated possession, with the exception of the first 8 minutes and the last 15 minutes. Cork dominated possession. So for about they had about 60% of possession throughout the 70 minutes. They dominated for about 50 minutes of the game, and you can see not only did they win the primary possession, but they won all the breaking ball around the middle third of the field. And certainly Gallivan was a huge loss last week in the terms of picking up that ball. Now today's Kerry selection is definitely with a view to counteracting Cork's dominance in this. Anthony Maher has the pace for 70 minutes, and David Moran, expect David Moran in at wing forward, but he will play as a third midfielder because Cork played the likes of Pearse O'Neill and Paddy Kelly. But why didn't they convert that possession? Well, one, they got 2 goal chances. Unfortunately, it was the wrong men in the right place. In that instance, Alan O'Connor should have kicked the ball over the bar. This was the second goal chance. Again, a centre fielder in the right position, but he badly missed. And then, why didn't they translate all that possession into scores? I firmly believe it was there. They say it's a patient build-up. I call it ponderous. It was slow and it was very lateral. And when a build-up like that is slow and ponderous, it allows the Kerry players to get back into defence. And you watch, you call it a blank or whatever like that, but the Kerry team are back. And the big difference, if you want to call it in terms of defending, with Kerry's defence there, that it's not as such a blanket with fellas covering space. Every one of those fellas that are back are actually covering a Cork player. So, I mean, what do Cork need today? Cork need to move the ball quicker, faster, and they need to have more quality ball into the likes of Daniel Goulding, Kieran Sheehan and Paul Kerrigan.
All right, well, now I suppose if we've asked Pat to look at Cork, obviously we're going to get Tony to run his eye over the Kerry team. And I think, Tony, one man in particular you're looking at here.
Yeah, well, I think the key to everything Kerry do is Donaghy at full forward. He's a superb player, has been the key to everything Kerry have done over the last couple of years. And the access of Donaghy and Gooch in the full forward line, given the supply of ball going in there, is critical. You also have Darren O'Sullivan on the outside and the lads working. But Donaghy as well, that's a terrific leap up in the air, gives it back and great finish in the corner. Brian Sheehan really with the freeze as well, but really Donaghy's the key to everything in there in the full forward line.
Cork's midfield domination last week, meant that they were living on scraps inside, and the worry.
This is the first 4 or 5. This is the 4th point that Kerry got, and they were winning well at this stage. Cork got the grips with him there, and Ray Kerry went in winning a ball, and from here on, really. Canty and the boys started getting the grips, and you see Graham Canty coming out, playing from the front. And it got more and more frustrating for Donaghy as the game went on. And eventually, look where he is. He's 45 yards out, kicking a ball in to be where he should have been himself, really, at that stage. But really, it's all stemmed from Cork winning midfield. if Kerry can get a grip at midfield, and the changes they've made certainly will make a difference. But from a Cork point of view, once Cork don't see Paul Galvin's name on the team sheet coming on, then it's a positive for Cork, because he's the one character that can win the dirty ball and the one character that can get the ball into the full forward line. The likes of David Moore and Anthony Maher certainly will up their mobility, but they're like for like the players that are there. Galvin's a different kettle of fish.
He's a huge loss again today, Michael, because Galvin, I can't understand when a fella, he had tonsillitis and he had an injury problem.
Yes.
But you know, when he came on last week, he was brilliant for the 15 minutes. I'm always of the opinion, if a fella is ill or not 100% fit, that you start him and you get whatever you can out of him, and then take him off. I mean, he was the catalyst to Kerry's transformation last week, and he's a huge blow to Kerry, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that it coincided with that. I think also that, you know, a team must take advantage of its purple patches, and Cork were utterly dominant at times. I mean, it may well be that Galvin will actually start today, but the big problem for Cork last week was just the lack of subtlety in their finishing. I mean, Aidan Walsh and Alan O'Connor reigned supreme at midfield, and their hard running threatened to break Kerry. But, you know, Tony said it was the wrong man in the right place. You can't have that anymore in modern Gaelic football. Those boys have got to stick the ball in the net. And I would think that with Aidan Walsh last week, it was just exuberance. And, you know, he was like the greyhound pup being let out of the car at the park. Once he settles down, he's got all the equipment to be a top-class county footballer. And, I mean, I think he just got overexcited whenever he saw the goals last week, as did O'Connor. I mean, because what Tyrone have shown is that you must be able to stick the ball in the net when you're rampaging through from midfield, particularly against a defence like Kerry's, which is ranked up. I mean, Pat says that it's not really a blanket. Well, I mean, it's every bit as much puke football as the football that was characterised coming from Ulster. I don't say that in a pejorative way.
Yes.
I mean, it is every bit like that. I mean, they're set up very much in that way now. So it is very difficult to break them down.
But Joe,
and I mean, Cork's problem last week was they've only got one Paul Kerrigan, who to me is the essence of the team now. And the dilemma is, do you play him in the half-forward line? What I would do if I were running the team, I would put Pearse O'Neill at centre half-forward to run hard through the centre. I would put Kerrigan alongside him, because, I mean, Kerrigan destroyed Tyrone last year in a way that no one has done in the modern era.
But Joe, what Kerry do and what Tyrone do is adopt the two basic principles of the game. The two basic principles of the game are, when you're in possession, everyone becomes an attacker.
I agree.
And when you haven't possession, everyone becomes a defender. And that is what Kerry are carrying out. But I mean, I can't understand. Maybe Galvin is playing. I mean, if a sub is taking on water, I don't
Well,
see...
he looked like a guy that had the body. Look at his body language there. He's warmed up. He's taking what he could be playing. You know?
He's naming the team after the national anthem.
We're kind of second guessing as to what the team finally is going to be, but actually let's head to Páirc Uí Chaoimh and pick up with our commentary team ahead of this afternoon's replay. So then it's over to Ger Canning and Kevin McStay.
Thanks, Michael. It may be their 21st championship meeting in a decade, but there's still no denying the compelling charm of Cork-Kerry matches. It's certainly a series which Cork goalkeeper Alan Quirke has begun to enjoy. He really impressed in Killarney, and today he's fronted by team captain Graham Canty, appearing in his 43rd championship match. The half-back line shows all-star Michael Shields, flanked by Noel O'Leary and Paddy Cassan. Midfield, where Cork dominated on Sunday last, features Alan O'Connor and Aidan Walsh. There's strength and there's variety in the half-forward line, with Pearse O'Neill and Paddy Kelly joining forces with Donncha O'Connor, and the inside forward line carries the threat of Daniel Goulding, Ciarán Sheehan and Paul Kerrigan. Alongside me, Kevin McStay. Kevin, you liked the look of Aidan Walsh last week.
I really did, Ger. I really did. I know he had a nervous opening, but I thought he never stopped trying. He adjusted well to the tempo by half-time. I think he's real potential, throws himself around well, and has good athleticism. I think he's going to really improve again today.
Well, the Kerry management team had injury concerns right throughout the past week, but few concerns now being expressed about the new goalkeeper, Brendan Keeley. He did well in the drawn match. The full back line shows Mark O'Shea, joined once again by Tommy Griffin and Tom O'Sullivan. In the half back line, well, Mike McCarthy has recovered from a slight knock to take his place alongside Tomas O'Shea and Killian Young. The midfield, which struggled for long periods last time out, is consisting today of Seamus Scanlon and Anthony Marr. While in the half-forward line, David Moran comes in to join Donncha Walsh and Declan O'Sullivan. And then it's Colm Cooper and Brian Sheehan joining together in the inside forward line, along with the big man, Kieran Donaghy. Kevin, you, I know, admired the work of Brian Sheehan last week.
Well, absolutely, and it has to be said he was 100% from place balls, and they were from distance, awkward angle and under pressure. And that was over 50% when you throw in the gooch. Over 50% of their scores came from place ball. That has to be an area that Cork look at. Sheehan will hurt them from place balls.
Well, the crowds are still flocking into Porky Quay by the banks of the River Lee, and the action from here is coming up shortly. Michael.
It is, and for final words on this match, let's go back to the panel again. Joe Brolly, who's going to win it?
Well, I mean, I expect again today. I mean, Cork are improved now with, or Kerry are improved now with bringing Maher in because he's got mobility. You know, Cork's okay if he's just catching the kick out and hand passing it off. It's all about whether Cork can translate the possession they'll undoubtedly have into scores, and I expect them to do that at home.
Well, I see Pat Spillane, I see Paul Galvin sitting at the stand for a start, so he's certainly not starting.
He's not going to play much of a role in the game from there anyway, no. No, what my verdict on the game, I suppose, if Kerry can secure more possession than they did last week, move the ball quicker and faster and get Donaghy and Gooch in, Kerry to win. But I'm thinking maybe I'm allowing my heart to rule my head in this instance. It's a dodgy one.
It is, Tony.
If it's a similar script to last week and Cork do win all the ball around midfield, Cork should win it because Daniel Goulding and Kieran Sheehan and Donnacha O'Connor weren't in the game last week. So surely they'll be better than what they were last week. So I think it's their first game in 6 weeks last week. A lot of improving to do, so I go for Cork, tentatively.
Yeah, and I suppose very briefly, Tony, had you put away one of those goal chances you got in that second half, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, they did have good goal opportunities. You could also say that Donny had goal opportunities as well. You know, so very evenly balanced teams, both of them, and let's hope we'll have a good game.
Oh, we're looking forward to a big game. All right, so almost set to go at Porky Quay then. It's back to Ger Canning and, of course, Kevin McStay.
Thanks, Michael. Well, it's a mix of blue sky and cloud overhead. We've had all kinds of weather in the morning here in Cork. And I mentioned just a moment ago, the crowd's still on their way in for this relatively early start to the afternoon. We've already had one match here, by the way. It was a challenge match between Cork and Offaly. A fairly strong Cork team up against, I think, more or less a full-strength Offaly team. And it finished Cork the winners there by 322 to 16 points. They're looking ahead to Munster and Leinster Championship matches. But right now, it's a case of Cork v Kerry Mark II on the 21st. Championship meeting for these two teams, stretching back over the last 10 years, and the target for both of them is short term and long term as well. A place in next month's Munster final against Limerick for starters, but in truth both Cork and Kerry of course are eyeing a place in September's battle for the Sam Maguire Cup. Graham Canty wants to be there. In the case of Kerry, that will mean a 7th All-Ireland final in a row and an 8th in 9 years, an amazing record. For Cork, it's to atone for last year and to win a first All-Ireland for them, in their case, first in 20 years. Well, they're anticipating a crowd of round about 25,000 for this replay. And it's a big Cork contingent, as you'd expect, because they're playing at home. Not as many from Kerry that I can see. I anticipated there would be more support. Noel O'Leary there being cheered on by the fans across on the far side of Porky Quay, which looks in very good nick. You heard Darragh O'Shea along with Jimmy Kerrigan there in the piece beforehand talking about the wind and the breeze. It is a blustery afternoon. Conor Coonahan has gone up there alongside Terry O'Neill, one of his selectors there on the left as we look at it, and taking the opportunity once again to try and see at least part of the action from the stand. Donnacha Walsh there walking through in that group of Kerry players. Might have been a bit of a toss-up there between Donnacha Walsh and Darren O'Sullivan for a place in that half-forward line. It's gone to David Moran, and of course the big man, Kieran Donaghy, didn't score last Sunday. They're expecting a big improvement where he's concerned. I think, Kevin, generally speaking, even though it was an entertaining match 7 days ago and you were there in Killarney, everybody's looking for an improvement in class and standard and so on.
Well, you'd expect it. They've got a big championship game under their belts at this stage, and of course Cork hadn't seen action for some weeks since the National League. So yeah, you'd have to expect an improvement. I actually thought the standard last week was very good. It was, you know, a tremendous championship match and kept us going right to the bitter end until the Gooch got the equaliser and brings us back here again. So really looking forward. Lovely pitch, as you say, decent crowd, weather's pretty decent as well. Should be a cracker.
Well, I have to say, watching the tape, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then the analysts got going and they started saying, well, such and such a player didn't do so well, and so on. Well, let's hope they all do reasonably well this afternoon. It's Kerry who won the toss. They're going to be playing from left to right in the first half. They'll have the wind behind them for the opening 35 minutes of this match. And Paul Galvin still in reserve. Are you surprised by that, Kevin?
Well, it's a huge loss for them. I mean, we were talking about the spurt that Maher and Moran is going to give to the selection, but then Paul Galvin sitting in the bench. I made the point last week that his loss really is incalculable. Like, he was the difference when he came on and gave them the lift with 15-20 minutes to go last week. Injured and out. Will we see him? I'd say we probably will at some stage.
Well, you heard the interview with Jack O'Connor that Joanne did last week after the match, and he said he had certain injury problems, and that was the reason he didn't start. Well, he's some impact sub to be able to bring on. Right now, there is a minute's silence which is about to be observed. It's in memory of the late Father Tommy O'Hanlon, who died recently in Pakistan. Father O'Hanlon came from Tarbert in North Kerry. He captained the Kerry minor football team back in 1962 to All-Ireland honours, and he is greatly missed. Yesh Lovday Gorev Anamulso Agus Anish Nafoy Nek Shasav Agus Shachuing Auron Levian. So set to go. The big two in Munster. With respect to all of the others, this is the match that people want to come and see time and again. And the man in the middle this afternoon has come from County Monaghan. That's Pat McEnany. He was a very, very happy man when I saw him up in Casement Park last Sunday after Monaghan beat Armagh. His brother, of course, Seamus, was the manager of Monaghan. And Paddy Kelly and Pierce O'Neill just switched their wings. And there'll be a lot of switching going on once it gets underway. Time to restart this Munster semi-final. Take two. And it's Kerry who get the first knockdown from Marr as far as Scanlon to Tomulso Shea. Oh, bounces off the chest of Jamie O'Sullivan, helped out by Michael Shields. Now Noel O'Leary starting on the left-hand side towards Kerrigan. Ooh, did well to keep it in play, but it's Tomulso Shea who goes back to take it. Into the middle as far as David Moran, the 22-year-old, knocking it away down to Colm Cooper. Into Donaghy, trying to turn, held at bay there by Graham Canty, looking for options. Cooper, the obvious one, trying to knock it back to a colleague, and the referee saw a push, and it's going to be a free in for Kerry. A chance for them to take the lead right at the very beginning, and Kieran Donaghy, the big man from Austin Stacks, down in a heap, as you can see.
Just after he gave the pass. It's there, yeah.
Oh, he collided, I think, with Jamie O'Sullivan. So straight away the doctor and physio in to make sure that the former footballer of the year is okay. He's such a vital part of this team. There was even speculation that they might have switched him into midfield just to give a little bit of variation to their play. Yeah, it was Jamie O'Sullivan that he collided with. Inadvertently went down. He's okay anyway.
But giving away the free again, Ger, and we were talking about this already. Another opportunity for Gooch.
So Colm Cooper from Dr. Crokes to kick it. He's put it wide. Missed opportunity. It'll need a little while just to settle down. Even the best can miss from that angle there on a blustery afternoon down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So first kick out of the day to Alan Quirk, 33-year-old from Valley Rovers. Oh, he's kicked it straight to David Moran. Back in with interest as far as Donaghy. Getting primary possession ahead of Canty. Looking around. Oh, it's an awful ball. Gave it straight to Alan O'Connor. As far as Kelly. Pa Kelly. Alan O'Connor now. Had a goal opportunity in Killarney, which was well saved by Brendan Keeley. Knocked ahead here to Aidan Walsh, looking for a more positive start this time around. Into the inside line towards Kerrigan, comes back out again here towards Kieran Sheehan, down there surrounded by Kerry players, and the referee's blown his whistle and awards a free into Cork. Kieran Sheehan, only 19 years of age, didn't seem to be going anywhere in a hurry that time. Could just as easily have been a free the other way.
Well, absolutely, that will fall into the handy category. He fell forward with his own momentum initially, couldn't get back to his feet, but it gets rewarded with a free.
And this gives Daniel Goulding now an opportunity. It's more or less the same angle that the Gooch had at the opposite end of the field. Now let's see, can he do any better? Can Cork take the lead here? The umpire's racing for the white flag. There's your answer. So Cork in front in the 4th minute. Again, a very awkward angle, but very well dispatched between the posts and over the bar.
Yeah, breeze coming slightly against Danny Goulding, and that can help, of course, from the acute angle, because you can drive it to the far post and pull it back in with the wind. Gooch had the wind assisting on his effort.
Well, the players will take a little while just to trust the flow of the breeze, come to terms with it. Coming to terms with the kick out immediately was Pierce O'Neill. Booted forward. Bounces away off the fist of Mark O'Shea to his brother Tomas. Tomas playing against Cork for the 23rd time today, and so far he's won 12 and drawn 5 of the matches so far. He could write a book about Cork Kerry matches. Mike McCarthy back into Tomas again. Declan O'Sullivan's gone very deep. Marr trying to wriggle his way past Donaghy O'Connor, gets a free. Again, some puzzled expressions, I think, among the Cork followers about that decision. Tomas O'Shea taking it down towards Donaghy, giving the high ball in the air, but Canty did really well. Went up contested, got a little touch of it. Out to Pat Kelly once again. Forward here for Michael Shields. Nice ball in as far as Kieran Sheehan, got racing away past Tommy Griffin. Now 45 metres out from the target, looking for the second point for Cork. Spooning it back here from O'Connor to Pierce O'Neill. Again, foul committed. This time it's by Tom O'Sullivan. Free into Cork. Goulding taking off, causing a problem for Tom O'Sullivan. At the other end, that was where Canty did really well. Good, strong defensive. He wasn't going to win it cleanly. At least he was making sure that Donaghy didn't get total possession.
That's how dangerous Goulding is, Jerry. Cut inside Tom O'Sullivan, and the minute he got inside O'Sullivan, knew this was danger, pulled him back.
He was one of those players I had in mind. He got a bit of a roasting in terms of the criticism coming his way after last Sunday. So he'll be out to impress, Kevin.
Certainly will.
Donaghy O'Connor takes them from the left-hand side with the right boot, and that was an easy start for him. Real confidence booster, and both of Cork's scores coming from place balls. Remember, Kerry have the breeze, and it's a strong blustery breeze blowing down the field towards the Blackrock end of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Well, how will Keely's kickouts go this particular Sunday? Again, Cork win that one. There was a drag down as Alan O'Connor got there first. Booted in here as far as Paul Kerrigan, getting out ahead of Mark O'Shea. What a match they had last week. Oh, that was, it looked a push.
Certainly was.
Kieran Sheehan was coming in. The referee wasn't too far away from it. No free awarded. And it comes out into the middle to Seamus Scanlon, one of those taken off last week, and this time there's a push by Alan O'Connor, and it's going to be a free to Kerry. But it's an incident earlier on where Cork were in full flow that has people still thinking, was it not? Just take a look at this again.
Yeah, he's in support. Yeah, he's been held back by Tom O'Sullivan in the first instance. Got lucky.
Paddy Kassan, man of the match, to Canty. Very much the leader of this team. Driving it forward. There wasn't anything Goulding could do about that. And Kerry are there in numbers. And Seamus Scanlon, as per usual, goes back, helps out the half-back line. Ahead as far as Anthony Marr from Douar. Blocked there by Paddy Kassan. Kerry's possession. You hear the linesman over there is David Coldrick. On or behind. New ruling since Congress where the line ball's concerned.
It's Noel O'Leary, I would say. He's pulling off the ball, holding back the runners. McEnhenny will spot that all day.
So is that going to be the extent? Like it is. Just noted what happened. Next foul he commits, he'll possibly see a yellow card. Free kick to Kerry. Brian Sheehan, who got 6 marvellous points in the match in Killarney. He scored 2 goals and 11 points in the 2 games so far that Kerry's played.
He's not happy with the distance, the 2 Cork lads.
Well, they are the 13 metres back. Their arms are raised. Sheehan kicks over their hands and kicks it over the bar. Good kick by Brian Sheehan. And Kerry's first point comes in the 9th minute, and all of the scores have been from frees.
And I think we know he'll do that all day and punish those sort of infringements. So it's indisciplined. Noel O'Leary in that, on that occasion can't afford to be giving those away.
Quite a cautious opening by both teams. The fear of losing, more so than winning another Munster title, is something that's probably uppermost in their minds. Nobody wants to go into the qualifiers and possibly face trips up to Derry or Armagh or wherever. Nobody's going to fancy that. Mike McCarthy keeping it in play still, hounded by Donnacha O'Connor. Mark O'Shea now breaking free, very poor marking. Donnacha Walsh on this near side, but wearing number 12. Again, the defenders go back, giving him an opening. Again, good play by David Moran, but the final shot a little bit off balance and hit in haste into the crowd. Wasted opportunity.
Yeah, the ball really should have gone to Mark O'Shea. He made the overlap. Donnacha Walsh took far too long to get the ball to him. A lot of pressure on David Moran. Strikes under pressure and badly wide.
So still 2 points to 1. Sunshine has certainly vanished for the time being. Plenty of breeze. Holding up the kick out very noticeably this time. Seized on by Seamus Scanlon, dropped down to Alan O'Connor, trying to wriggle his way around the challenge. Out to Jamie O'Sullivan, 21-year-old. Kicked ahead here towards Goulding. Into the corner. O'Sullivan there for company. Can't get to him. Here's Jamie O'Sullivan, young man from Bishopstown. A real hit and hope one down towards Kieran Sheehan, trying to juggle it with one hand, feeling for something. Tommy Griffin sticking to his task, and Griffin comes away with it. What a shoulder, good shoulder by Pierce O'Neill. And that'll certainly excite the crowd. A lot of steps taken. And that's going to be a free. Free to Cork.
There's the big histure by Pierce O'Neill that put him on his bum. And that's led to the turnover and now the free.
It takes something like that, you know, or a row, to get everybody going. So once again, it's going to be Donnacha O'Connor who will take it. That's where the back had the ball, and there wasn't much he could do about it, Tommy. Donnacha O'Connor then. Doesn't catch it properly. And it remains 2 points to 1. Missed opportunity.
It is tentative, Ger, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
tentative opening. Nobody seems to have settled yet. A lot of frees, a lot of fouling. Not very open football yet.
It's going to take a while. Past David Moran, picked up by Aidan Walsh, and again Cork are winning a lot of these early duels in the middle of the park from the kick out. Up towards Goulding, trying to judge the breeze. O'Sullivan's there as well. Goulding, did he get it on the ground? Still has it, trying to make an angle. Little block on it by Tom O'Sullivan, still it comes in. Goalkeeper reaches in for it, and he needs his fullback there. In the end, the whistle comes from the referee, Pat McEnany. A dangerous moment there for Brendan Keeley. The breeze not helping him.
It's the missed kick from Goulding, of course. He was going for the point, but against the wind, it holds it up. Big effort to knock it towards the net, but good work by Tommy Griffin.
Well, Tommy Griffin's had to try and make that number 3 position his own. I'm sure he'd wish to be playing out around the middle of the park, but it's a case of needs be. Killian Young can't hold on to it, but Mike McCarthy can come forward here and give a little bit of direction to Kerry. Inside to Gooch. Colm Cooper, little hand pass inside towards Brian Sheehan. Cork players there in number. Kassan goes down, picks it up, releases it out here as far as Alan O'Connor. Forward once again, this time to Ray Carey, having to boot it ahead because the pass wasn't a very good one. Mark O'Shea gets there first ahead of Kerrigan. Donaghy trying to race for this one. Canty's there as well. Chipped up to Alan O'Connor, Cork's midfielder. And away they come once more. Well, you just get the feeling the whole time in Graham Canty's play. He wants to get away out of full back, time and again. Donaghy's followed him. Here's Noel O'Leary. Holding possession here with Pierce O'Neill. Out as far as Pa Kelly. Selling a dummy there to Killian Young. 2 young players. Kelly loses it. Tomas O'Shea's back there to help out for Kerry, as he's done so often in the past. Thought about a pass to his goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper was being covered there by Daniel Goulding, so in the end he held on. He was fouled. It's a free out to Kerry.
He was fouled about 3 times before that, but Pat McEnany was giving him time to clear it. But eventually says enough's enough.
That free has been picked up here by Aidan Walsh. Was a very poor one. Now Walsh has a go from a distance, hanging in the air again. Horrible one for the goalkeeper. Drops it down and it's in the back of the net. Goulding, his 7th ever championship goal. And it comes in the 15th minute. And he's got a goal and a point. And it's 1-2 to a point, and that should have been defended better, but the goalkeeper came, lost it, and Daniel Goulding toe poked it home into the back of the net.
Well, it's Goulding that knocks it out of his hand as well, so full mark to him in both efforts. He knocks it out and then throws the left leg on it, and it rolls over the line.
Well, there's a Cork player down injured as play continues at the other end. That Cork player is Aidan Walsh, the midfielder. Declan O'Sullivan trying to set it up here for Seamus Scanlon. Kerry looking for a response. Is that it? Not quite. About a metre wide of the target. He's only ever scored 8 points in championship football. Seamus Scanlon had a go from a fair old distance out here. He's playing today in his 28th championship match.
And, Aidan Walsh is certainly holding his hamstring. He's had problems. It was him that put in the speculative high kick that led to the goal, of course, and he got a little tackle as he was kicking it, and that's what caused the injury.
This time it's fisted back down by Anthony Marr. And there was a jersey hold. It's by Kassan this time. The referee will speak to him, who's holding the jersey of Donaghy Walsh.
Flashed the yellow to him there, Ger.
Card for Paddy Kassan. Paddy from Clyde Rovers, 30 years of age now. Man of the match last Sunday. Yellow card recipient in the 16th minute here. Cork leading. Kerry with just 1 point so far. A point from Brian Sheehan from a free. The Gooch, who missed a free close in, the first real scoring opportunity of the match in the opening couple of minutes, has this one from the 45. It's going, yeah, it's inside. Good kick by Colm Cooper. Didn't leave too much margin for error, but he got it. nailed it just inside that left-hand post.
And what we can say for sure, Ger, is that 8 of those scores last week out of 15 came from place balls, and Cork are definitely putting guys close to the kicker and trying to put them off.
Derek Cavanagh's coming in to replace Aidan Walsh. As you mentioned, the hamstring causing him a problem. So Derek from Nima Rangers gets an early opportunity. This is the player who's played full-back. He can play anywhere around the back line and midfield. Seamus Scanlon dishing it off here to Killian Young. Down towards Kieran Donaghy. Canty's there as well, decides to fist it away, and it's not working out so far because Canty's winning that duel between those two. Here's Ray Kerry. Kelly. Kerry once again. Little injection of pace, then runs into challenges, loses possession easily. Wrong decision. Cooper inside to Donaghy. Now a chance to take on Canty. Needs a score. He's put in wide. He'll be very disappointed with that, and it's Kerry's 4th wide.
It's the Gooch's ball inside. He picks him out and he drops Canty easily with the dropping of his own shoulder, but hooks it badly wide.
So a goal between them, that goal after 15 minutes. Jack O'Connor looking a little concerned, hard to blame him. Alan O'Connor is beaten in the air brilliantly by Anthony Marr. That was a great piece of fielding, best so far in the match. Killian Young, back to Declan O'Sullivan, back to Marr, who made all of that happen. Using his possession now, trying to put it in there to Cooper, who did well against Jamie O'Sullivan. Cooper back to Donaghy. This is a better spell for Kerry, and if you don't succeed at first, have a second go. Donaghy did and put it over the bar and narrows the gap. 1-2 to 3 points.
Now there's the Gooch. You think sometimes he's not good in the air. He can hold his own. 6 foot plus. Great catch there, Jared. Magnificent catch.
Superb piece of fielding. Well, it looked like Canty was having the better of the duel with Donaghy, but Donaghy's done well with the last 2 balls that went in there.
Yeah, and Gooch brought him into play each time as well. Dangerous partnership.
Terrific partnership, and when you throw in Brian Sheehan's ability as well, you've got a lethal inside forward line. Again, Kerry win it here. They've got to do well with this breeze in the first half. It has to be worth a lead for them at half time. That time they win a free kick. Poor defending on the part of Cork.
Kerry midfielders certainly getting on the breaks, dominating the kickouts a bit more in the last 5-10 minutes, and that's been reflected now in the chances they're creating.
It's been tentative. All-Ireland winners from last year, Munster champions from last year, but this is about the 2010 championship. All that counts is right now and making the right kind of progress. Brian Sheehan, 1 point from a free so far, and he's put it wide. What a difference in 7 days. He will remember the replay last year on a Saturday. He was taken off after about 25 minutes. And Jack O'Connor is quite capable of making those kind of decisions if things are not going right for his team. It's Cork's kick-out, and they've done very poorly on their own kick-out so far. They've won none of the 8 so far in the match. Once again, Alan Quirk looking for ball retention here from his midfield players. It breaks. Cork have a chance to win this one. Kelly in quickly to pick up that dirty ball, as they call it, and now Nolan Leary's got space which to manoeuvre on as far as Kieran Sheehan. Kieran Sheehan was pushed by Tommy Griffin, and it's going to be a free to Cork. People were asking questions about Kieran Sheehan, a very, very good under-21 player, played on the half-forward line last year with Cork beat down in the final in Portlaoise. Very, very talented young footballer. Huge one in towards Donaghy O'Connor, runs on to Goulding! It was nearly a second, but it's going to be a 45 instead. Daniel Goulding with a goal and a point so far. So near to another.
He's looking sharp, Ger. Every break he's getting around it, getting the better of Tom O'Sullivan at the minute in their duel.
there's a lack of solidity in that Kerry full back line.
O'Sullivan did do well, in fairness to him. Once he'd lost the ball, he got a bit of heat on the shot, deflected off him for a 45.
Peculiar kind of a match so far. Cork themselves look quite porous on occasions when the pressure is applied by the likes of Cooper and Donaghy, as we've been saying. Not doing all that brilliant this week in midfield in terms of possession won from kickouts, but yet causing those problems every so often. Goulding, always a threat.
Yep.
Here he comes again from the 45. Catches it well, and he puts it over the bar. Another for Daniel Goulding.
In the groove, there's no doubt about it. That was against the wind, and you see the way he just floated it in and let it come across the goal. See it here coming right to left now. Lovely judgment.
Once again, a goal between them. He's a lovely striker of the ball, as you say.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's very dangerous. He's a very powerful shot as well when he gets in around the goal. So he's going to cause headaches.
In the middle of the park, it's Derek Cavan who takes this one. Tries to give Cork a vital edge in there. Pierce O'Neill in there also. Sheehan now raiding, taking Tommy Griffin out of position, leaving a couple of dangerous inside forwards, but they got to get the ball, and Kerry are denying them that primary possession right now. Griffin with the free kick on as far as Donegal Walsh. Batted down there by Declan O'Sullivan, but won by Michael Shields, last year's All-Star. Kieran Sheehan again, inside to Goulding. Off to Paul Kerrigan. Real live wire Kerrigan, jinking this way, that, using his left and putting it wide. 3 points last week. You'll have seen his father in the interview before that. Great star of yesteryear, Jimmy, who was a terrific left half back. And then I remember in the 1987 final, when Cork played Meath, Billy Morgan moved him up along with Christy Ryan. They were short of forwards and they converted him from half back to forward. And Jimmy has been known by his pals as not Jimmy Kerrigan, but Jimmy Lineker, after a well-known crisp salesman from the English Midlands. This time it's Noel O'Leary picking it up. Kavanagh now. One for Goulding to take. Again, he's winning those duels with Tom O'Sullivan. Needs a support player. Kelly in there quickly to try and help out. Had Kassan on his right, having a go himself back, Kelly. This time away from Tomas O'Shea, falls kindly for Paul Kerrigan. Has to do a neat little pick. That was a lovely piece of skill there by Kerrigan. Looking around. Paddy Kelly once more. Cork hold the ball. Patient. Torment Kerry. Donegal O'Connor knifing past four players on his left. Great score.
Great score, oh, great score. Did everything himself. He was stuck on stop there on the 45. Saw a bit of gap and drove through there. Great score.
Just watch this.
Well, that's real Lineker stuff.
As they say, the breeding's good. Brendan Keeley's kick out. Kerry now needing to win major possession around the middle of the park. Killian Young battling. Oh, Tom O'Sullivan was too close, didn't quite anticipate that pass at that angle, and the ball bounces away, and O'Sullivan has it again. Mark O'Shea now to initiate the attack from his own full back line. Referee again allows an advantage. Kerry hold the possession, have the chance to build. Anthony Marr. Not the greatest of kicks. Kicked on, picked up by Donegal O'Connor. Forward quickly to Daniel Goulding. Well, Goulding mightn't have impressed everybody with his performance last Sunday, but he's certainly done well here in the opening 25 minutes. It's still Cork, and it's with Michael Shields having a go himself, fancying his chances. That is an absolutely sensational kick. Only his third ever point in championship football. The Bars man, who once left St Finbarrs and the blues of St Finbarrs to the blues of Carlton, he's back and he's playing superbly, and it's 1-5 to 3 points. What about this earlier on?
Well, maybe they get it up okay, but Shields has taken advantage. Took it all on. We saw Kassan last week, Paddy Kassan. Well, look at this week, Shields, fantastic score.
Yellow card for Paul Kerrigan there. So 2 yellow cards for Cork players, Paddy Cassan and now Paul Kerrigan. Derek Kavanagh is battling ruggedly in the middle of the park. It's a poor kick, straight to Mike McCarthy. One player that Kerry need to settle things down. Again, Mark O'Shea, standing firm, keeping Donnacha O'Connor at bay, but in goes Kerrigan as well to help him out. McCarthy, down to the gooch, he needs the ball, they need possession in there. Into Brian Sheehan, this is better. Released by Declan O'Sullivan. What a pity they're not getting better supply of ball, because they have the capacity to torment that Cork back line, and it's 1-5 to 4 points. And Paul Galvin's on. Jack O'Connor has decided we've seen enough, and David Moran's going off. It's the response to a mini crisis, shall we call it. Galvin required. Now will this be the game changer?
Well, he's getting a good run at it this week. He's going to have, I suppose, 40 minutes plus now to make an impact, and I've no doubt he will.
Well, he's calling for the ball, and he's got it. Like the pantomime villain, they boo him straight away, the Cork fans. Gets it down towards Donaghy. Kerry plead a free kick. Referee Pat McEnany says no. He stumbled over it. Away comes Canty, carrying it forward, running into challenges, needing support players. Cassan's here. Well, it's the presence of Galvin or whatever, it certainly lifted the crowd. Suddenly much more with every kick. Watching every piece of action and intimate detail as Jamie O'Sullivan is fouled, and it's going to be a free kick for Cork, and it hots up quite considerably. Not necessary. Well, Pat McEnany won't stand for any kind of nonsense. This is a referee who's done All-Ireland finals where there were many riots in the past. I don't think you mess with him. The card's out, and Derek Kavanagh sees yellow. 3 yellow cards now issued to Cork players.
And Graham Canty, I have no doubt, if Dave Coldrick gets the ref's attention, they'll be talking to Dave Canty as well, or pardon me, Graham Canty as well, because he went after Paul Galvin in the initial one, maybe back 2 minutes ago.
So there could be further trouble. David Coldrick and Rory Hickey are the 2 linesmen this afternoon. Coldrick, by the way, is also the assistant referee, should he be required. And now referee has called across Graham Canty, the 29-year-old from Bantry Blues. And whatever Dave Coldrick has told Pat McEnany, this is the end result. Let's see the colour of the card. It's yellow.
He's lucky, because I was following that one myself.
What did you see?
Well, Paul Galvin was very innocent on the ball. He just gave the pass, but Graham Canty went in after him, hit him a good hit and threw him to the floor. Yellow's probably about right. We'll see it here just after, right now, there.
Right. Well, the end result is yellow, and right now it's a free kick to Kerry, who trail by a goal and a point.
And the temperature has gone up a few degrees.
It's what you expect. Cooper into Declan O'Sullivan, ready to take a return. Surrounded immediately by Cork players. Look at that for a return, but that's not a good pass. Only as far as Pierce O'Neill. Knocked ahead to Paddy Kelly. Pursued by Anthony Marr. Didn't hand pass it to O'Neill. Does now as far as O'Connor. Back it comes towards Paddy Cassan. Looking for movement ahead, not a great deal of it. Having to go across the line. Pierce O'Neill now looking up, still no great movement. Breeze against them, remember, as well. So maybe they're concerned about the accuracy of the pass. And finally it's Paddy Cassan who breaks past Paul Galvin, slips it inside to Kieran Sheehan. Here's a goal chance, and it's over the bar. He's going for a goal, no question about that. It's his first ever point in championship football, and it comes in the 31st minute. Shaken the head by the fans. They were absolutely certain that following this burst through the centre by Cassan, on as far as Kieran Sheehan, he was going to drill it into the top of the net.
Well, if it's below the crossbar, it's a goal, because he's hit it so strong. But a great effort by Cassan, and a great pass, and a great finish. Cork going fierce well at the miniature.
Their second game in the championship, Kerry's third. Remember, Kerry played Tipperary in the first round. Sheehan again, much more prominent this week. This time he handles it on the ground, free to Kerry. About 4 minutes to go to half-time. Kerry looking for improvement. They won't panic. Declan O'Sullivan, inside as far as Seamus Scanlon. Now Galvin, operating more or less as a third midfielder, like the conductor of an orchestra. Dished off by Cooper as far as Anthony Marr. Back in as far as Tomas O'Shea. Needs Cooper again. Players are calling for it. Slips it out towards Brian Sheehan. Pursued over there by Ray Carey. Sheehan back once more as far as the centre forward Declan O'Sullivan. Again Kerry hold, but finally they're going to have to shoot it through Sheehan. Brian Sheehan has a go, and it's a magnificent kick. Superb kick. His second point of the match. First from a free, this one from play. And it's 1-6 to 5 points, and it's no more than Kerry's needed.
And that's a point for patience, you'd have to say. The quality of the passing was always good, even though the fans were getting a bit agitated. Why don't they shoot?
About the last two scores also, because Cork were going nowhere with that attack also, you might, I think, infer.
But it was a great, in the end, when Sheehan, when the defender stayed off him, and he was given space. He shows you the quality he has of strike, like those from 45, 46 metres.
Here's the problem, Kevin. Is it a dislocated finger? Mark O'Shea.
Indeed.
Mike Finnerty, the doctor. Oh, well, he's going to try and strap him up quickly as Jack looks on. Jack O'Connor, All-Ireland winner twice in the past. Kick out, won by Kerry, by Seamus Scanlon. Free kick to Kerry. Declan O'Sullivan taking it into Donaghy. Can they get a goal here? Donaghy back to Cooper. Oh, what a miss. Last week it was Donaghy just before half-time who missed a golden opportunity of getting 3 points. This time Donaghy provided the pass to Cooper. Oh, you'd have put the housekeeping money on Cooper putting it into the corner of the net from there. And he's missed.
You might have even put the house on it. When Donaghy came down with it, you had to suggest
in
that...
the current economy, I'm not putting the house on anything.
You'd have to think that the Gooch was going to nail it. Great pass in by O'Sullivan, put a little bit of extra height on it, suited Donaghy perfectly. Goal chance missed.
Terrible kick out again, straight to Galvin. This time Cooper. Kerry suddenly putting on a burst close to half-time, trying to close the gap. They've had a really good chance there. They've got to be patient. Cooper holds it once again. Young comes onto it. Oh, he's missed that by a fair old margin. And that is 7 wides now by Kerry in this first half. We're playing the 35th minute, as you can see, and it's still 1-6 to 5 points. Kerry should be closer.
And Cork will be thrilled with it, because we know there's a very stiff breeze supporting the Kerry efforts in the first half. We're down into the Blackrock end.
At least 1 minute of added time to be played. After a slow enough start, it's zipped along. Kick-out's one interesting. And this time Cork win theirs, and Pádraig Cassan. Derek Kavanagh, first half substitute. Inside here to Paul Kerrigan. Hasn't scored this week, and this time he's had the ball stolen by Mark O'Shea. And Mark and Kerry have themselves a free kick. 45 seconds of the injury time, and the referee is bringing the ball forward 13 metres because Kieran Sheehan did not retreat quickly enough. Is there another scoring opportunity for one of these teams before the break? Tomas O'Shea been encouraged to hit it. That in time, it's in as far as Cooper, turning well. Cross to Seamus Scanlon. Galvin wanting it, demanding it. Quick little pass in towards Donaghy. Get it, a little break in it. As Canty gets out, Donaghy tries to do so as well. Pierce O'Neill has it. Takes it around Tomas O'Shea. O'Neill fisting it forward here as far as Kerrigan. Knocking it back to Noel O'Leary. Minute of stoppage time's been played. Referee might just allow this attack to develop. O'Leary goes down free to Cork. 65 metres out from the Kerry goal, however. Referee checks on his watch, blows his whistle. That's it for the first half. Well, the only goal came after 15 minutes, and it was scored by Daniel Goulding, who finished the half with a goal and 2 points to his credit. but Kerry had themselves one terrific chance of getting even closer. A missed opportunity by Colm Cooper in the 35th minute when he was presented with a chance by Kieran Donaghy. At half-time, it's Cork who lead. It's Cork 1-6, Kerry 5 points. Michael.
Yeah, so then, as it was last weekend, the advantage to Cork at this stage in the match. Tony Davis, the question is this time, can you keep going?
There's nothing between the teams again, a real rip-roaring Munster Championship game, both sides going at it. Cork again winning midfield right up to the last 10 minutes where Kerry came into it. Cork did have goal chances, they should have taken their scores, but then again Kerry had them as well. So really entertaining game. I'm loving it from a Cork-Kerry point of view. It's a typical Munster clash between both of them with nothing in it.
Yeah, Pat?
Sometimes I'm being accused of being too much of a romantic and looking for the ideal game. It's not the ideal game, but what we got is tight, it's tense, it's tough, it's very interesting, very entertaining. And all I'm saying is to the people out there, Serbia and Ghana's on at 3 o'clock. Forget about the first half of that game, because this second half is going to provide us with lots of twists and turns. But in that half, Cork definitely defensively all over the field the better, and marginally the better team as well.
OK, we're going to take a short break. More from the panel, including Joe Brolly, in just a few minutes. Join us then. Yes, welcome back again to the Sunday game. So then, half-time at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It is just a reminder, Kerry 1-6, Cork 5 points. Tony Davis, Joe Brolly, Pat Spillane here with me in the studio. By the way, in Croke Park, at half-time in the game between Meath and Laois in the Leinster Championship, by coincidence, it's also the same score. Meath leading Laois by 1-6 to 5 points there as well. Joe Brolly, did you enjoy that first half?
It's good, you know, and I mean, it's very tense. It's been well refereed, but still you feel that it's not just blood and thunder. I mean, it became, you know, a lot more fervour came into the game. For some reason, Galvin just has this impact on the crowd, on the opposition. You know, immediately people were sticking their chests out and sort of bumping into each other. And I mean, the volume went up appreciably. And I mean, everyone here in the studio, even the two lads, got their chests out, you know. So there's no doubt that he has a very extra special character when it comes to championship football. And since then, it has been a very entertaining battle, you know.
Pat, last night, watching the England-USA match, we saw the England goalkeeper having a little bit of a nightmare. Unfortunately, the Kerry goalkeeper might have been watching that match.
Yeah, Robert Green last night, Brendan Keeley today. This Cork goal is down to goalkeeping error. Look, it's simple route one football, and you kick the ball into that danger area, and there's always a chance of a slip or whatever like that. Look, the goalie made it his, held on to possession, and sadly, he was easily dispossessed by Daniel Goulding. This was a great, you know, Goulding is a goal poacher, and it was a great instinct.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
It was lovely turn, whatever like that. He had much room to, but I mean, you'll have to fault Keeley. It was his ball.
He has an odd technique, Pat. He goes for the ball.
This was earlier in the match.
This was flagged earlier on, his frailties, and we flagged it against Tipperary as well. Tipperary's second goal was again his fault under a high ball. Again, in that instance, he went for the ball. A bigger player than Donaghy O'Connor should have got a goal. So, I mean, the one thing about Keeley, he is a good shot stopper, but he's not the imposing presence that Diarmuid Murphy carried. He's only 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Murphy was 6'4", so dodgy under the high ball, and sadly, he gave Cork a goal.
Gave Cork a goal, and Cork had goal chances as well, Joe, apart from that.
It was a bit like last week. Last week I counted 4 occasions when Cork could have made a decisive breakthrough in the game, you know, to go from 3 points up to 6 points up, or from 4 points to 5 points. And, I mean, this was a terrific chance. Goulding's played very, very well today, but he made, I mean, I always think it's a fatal error, and when I'm coaching with the young fellas, I always say, never kick across the keeper. Kick the way you're going. If you just put that straight, tipped it in, I mean, the keeper was lost, because the keeper always expects you to kick across him. And I mean, again, you can see...
Well, this is the secret of beating a kind of what we call the blanket defence early on. You mustn't beat the first man in that.
Goal chance.
Yeah. Make space, and really he should have taken this goal chance, because like Daniel, they're two club mates in the same club, and they're both known for goals.
As they say, Tony, it rose on them.
It rose,
And in fairness, you know, Sheehan has been very unfocused and imprecise in both games. I think he's been very poor again today. And it's a pity, because he's got all the athleticism and all of that, but I think, especially for a forward, it takes a while to settle into county football and all the fervour and the big crowds and all of that. I mean, I dare say at club level he would have his head down, dummied the keeper, stuck it in the net, you know, and that's just something that he's going to have to develop. But I mean, it was a vital chance, and it really
was a chance. There's no question.
It could have been the big breakthrough in the game.
Before the match, Tony, you looked at Kieran Donaghy and the
Yeah.
importance, of course, we all know that he has to the Kerry
Yeah.
team. But this turned out to be a fascinating duel today between himself and Canty.
It still is a great duel.
still
Now,
is, yeah.
at the start of the game, I think Canty was winning it really because, like, he was out in front, he was putting the hand in and winning away, ably assisted by Jamie in the back line there. Another high ball, and he breaks it down again, wins a good ball. And I suppose, from a Cork point of view, from anyone outside looking in, this should determine the outcome of the game, because if you can cut off the supply of ball to the boys inside, then you should do well. But look, Donaghy's more than just a winning high ball. He can actually finish as well. And look, when you have fellas like him in there, he's a fulcrum for everything positive about Kerry. He brings loads of people into the game. Now, that's the danger from a Cork point of view. When Galvin came on, there was a more precise ball, like someone picking a lock, getting the ball into the full forward line. He only got on the ball about 3 times, but the 3 passes he had, Cork did win them, but they were balls that could have ended up right on the inside in the real red zone, the danger zone in front of the goal.
Joe, you're not going to keep Donaghy's hand off the ball all day long, and he got one hand of the ball, broke it down to the gooch, and this could have been the Kerry goal.
Yeah, and I expected Colin to put it in the net. It had shades of Tyrone's great goal in the 2005 final that made the breakthrough. And I mean, the thing about Donaghy is that you can't give him a bad pass, you know. And I mean, if anyone else was getting the sort of service that Donaghy was getting today, we'd be complaining about it and saying, how could you expect him to do anything? And I mean, Cooper of all people. And in fairness, if you just look at the goalkeeper expected to see it nestling in the corner of the net. And again, these small moments can have a huge bearing on the rest of the year.
And one of the big problems now, if Kerry persists with playing the ball into Donaghy, Graham Canty is on a yellow card.
Yes.
So he's on thin ice.
Yes, yeah. All right, second half of Cork versus Kerry after this short break. So we'll see you again in a few minutes. And just a reminder for you that the draw for the first round of qualifiers in this year's Football Championship will take place later this evening here on RTE television. That will bring us into the main evening news, and the draw will take place at around 6:15. Now, we also have the Sunday Game Evening Edition coming up later on. Just to be aware that this week's programme is on air at a slightly later time than usual. That's 10 o'clock tonight. You can catch up with all of the latest. Well, back here this afternoon, the latest is that Cork are leading Kerry by 1-6 to 5 points at half-time down at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Back to the panel again. The thing about this, and I suppose the same thing happened last week, Pat, there seemed to be periods when Kerry had good domination, Cork had good domination. Cork certainly got one period when they popped over a couple of very nice points.
They did indeed. I mean, remember up to the 24th minute of the game, Cork hadn't scored from play at all. And they got 2 great points here. Now, this was a great individual effort by Donaghy O'Connor, who ran straight at the Kerry defence. Now, you'll have to say, very poor defending. There's 4 defenders there and he ran through them. Donaghy O'Connor is capable of a lot more of that, but he drifts in and out of games. He had a poor game last week, not great this week either, but that was an excellent point. But watch this, Michael Shields, who was the unsung hero last week, destroying Declan O'Sullivan. That's 50 metres with the outside of the right foot. And you know, sometimes we are, us romantics again talk about the lack of long-range kicking. You saw a point there from Michael Shields, the centre-back, and you saw a point later on from Brian Sheehan, again from 50, 55 metres. 2 superb long-range points in difficult, swiddling, windy conditions. Excellent.
And Paddy Cassan did that too last week, Pat. He got 3 of them from about the 45 as well. It's the best way of answering a mass defence, or people shuffling back behind the ball. If you can take scores from long distance, and that was a super, because the wind is a huge factor here. Now, Kerry had the wind in the first half. I'm not sure if it's actually favouring anything. It's possibly across the field. There's a wind down there into that black rock roll into the corner.
And remember, from a Gaelic football point of view, windy conditions are the most difficult. You can talk about rain,
you
but
can handle rain.
Swivelling, windy conditions make it very, very difficult to play in. And you saw Kerry with the wind at one stage, and then Brian Sheehan had a free, and he was kicking the free against the wind.
Cork got a couple of good points. We saw there Joe, but Kerry as well. We know what they can do. There's one point that Declan O'Sullivan got. You were so impressed with the way that Kerry built this up.
I just think that, you know, Kerry are not on full battle footing here today, you know. But it reminded me very much of Kerry in late September, this score. You know, just the absolute economy of it, and the precision of their skills, and the precision of the passing and the movement. And you know, you feel very much as though Kerry do still have a lot in reserve. You just wouldn't have seen Cork scoring that point, if you know what I mean. And
This is
You know,
what
I think
sometimes
that that's why I say to an extent that this is a bit of a phony war that's being played out here. You know, Kerry would like to win it because they're worried about the old qualifiers.
sometimes you'd say if we
No
did,
changes, guys, as you can see. Sorry to interrupt you. On either side, they're ready to go for the second half. So let's go back to Páirc Uí Chaoimh for the second half. Cork versus Kerry. Kevin McStay and Ger Canning.
Thanks, Michael. Sun's out. Teams are out, as you can see. Refs ready. One man I hope who's watching it this afternoon is Dermot Earley, former Roscommon footballer. It's his last day in uniform, head of the Irish Army today. Everybody, Dermot, wishes you the very, very best. So it's 1-6 to 5 points. You're pointing wildly there, Kevin. What do you see?
Well, Kerry are missing right half forward. I'm just trying to figure out who it is.
Maybe that's the ploy for the second half.
Is it Mr. Galvin? I just haven't seen him yet.
Well,
sure
the game has been held up anyway. I don't see him either.
Here he comes.
There he comes. Like the nation's best known actor, he finally appears on the stage. And he's going over to right half forward, there to make his presence felt. Been marked by Paddy Cassan. 4 points between them.
And the Winger has got up again since half-time. If you look at any of the ground flags, all blowing into the Blackrock end, which is the end Cork are attacking.
So the win backs Cork, but it's Kerry who get the first possession of the second half. Declan O'Sullivan running into traffic, needing Donncha Walsh. Killian Young. Well blocked by Alan O'Connor, released there as far as Paddy Kelly, down as far as Kieran Sheehan. Caused problems for Tommy Griffin in the first half. Donncha O'Connor got one beautiful point. Kelly nipping in and out, released towards Alan O'Connor. It's a bit like last week, and again Keeley makes the save. But last time it was a fisted effort, this time a punched effort. And away comes Mark O'Shea once again, but he can't quite get at the end of this. And it ends up being a line ball for Cork.
Poor passing again. There's been a lot of poor passing actually by Fitz during the match.
Last week, Kevin, it was Alan O'Connor using the boot, but this time the fist.
Should have taken the point out to feel easier.
Keeley once again. Well, he has that very fresh breeze in his face now as Tom O'Connor is bundled over there by Kieran Sheehan.
Big hit by Sheehan. He knocked the ball out of Tom O'Sullivan's love. Is that a foul? This is the one you're talking about, Jerry, yeah. No big deal for the keeper there. Expecting to
waste an opportunity.
Yeah.
From that, it reaches Donncha Walsh. Good ball carrier. Going long. Inside towards Colin Cooper. Looking for Donaghy. This is a goal chance, and that is a beauty. Donaghy scores. Second minute of the second half. That's the 7th time he's scored a goal in the championship, and this time Cork carved open. Canty found wanting. What a peach of a finish by Kieran Donaghy.
Well, Donncha Walsh is brilliant in the first, and then the Gooch slips it in back door to Donaghy. He takes the back position, little left hand, keeping Canty back off him. Great finish for a big guy. That is a brilliant forward finish.
And now we've got the makings of a brilliant second half. 1-6 to 1-5. Cork started the season as favourites to win the All-Ireland. They're looking to make progress, looking to beat their old rivals Kerry here at home. Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Scanlon. Cross here as far as Mike McCarthy, the calming influence at the heart of that Kerry defence. Galvin now, firmly forward to Killian Young. Held onto by Declan O'Sullivan. So often the architect of so many good moves for Kerry. Switch of directions, past Shields. Inside towards the Gooch again. Colin Cooper held at bay momentarily. Still soloing, bamboozling a number of Cork defenders. Once again Mike McCarthy. It's Galvin coming onto it. Slipped inside here, dangerously across, missed by Sheehan and one or two others. Noel O'Leary goes back to retrieve. Has a support player, that's Michael Shields. Alan O'Connor now. Change of direction. Canty again adventurously carrying it out of defence, going very long, down towards Sheehan, catches, takes it inside, goes to ground immediately, free in. That was a great catch.
It sure was. Andy knows what he's doing. He's in for Sheehan. He's under huge pressure there. He's even pushed as he's going for it. He still holds on to it and earns his free. Great take.
No wonder some of the Australian teams were looking at him with that kind of fielding ability. Young player, only 19, from Éire Óg in Ovens. As you heard during the break, a clubmate of Daniel Goulding. And now it's Donncha Walsh from Ballydesmond on the Cork-Kerry border. Mike McCarthy ran right across.
Bringing it forward. Yeah, gamesmanship.
Well, that's silly. That's made it a much easier free kick. So a chance for Cork now to settle themselves down, get their first point of the second half. McCarthy knows better. Silly thing to do. So from about 15 metres out, it's straight over the bar. Routine kick by Donncha O'Connor's standards. 1-7 to 1-5. Let's watch again now. Ran right across here.
It might have been innocent, you know. That's not McCarthy's style. That's the one thing I'd say in his defence. It might have been, but referee thinks otherwise, and it wasn't that difficult anyway. But he made it really easy afterwards.
And Cork had a free.
Yeah.
Alan O'Connor held middle of the park, fouled by Anthony Marr. Cork winning these vital breaks now around the centre. Sheehan again, having a pot. It's there to be chased after. Pearse O'Neill's in after it. In the past, this is a guy who certainly has tormented Kerry. Remember a couple of years ago here when he certainly did that. And Donncha O'Connor completes the move and puts it between the posts for his 4th point. 2 in a row for Donncha O'Connor.
Well, we're going to see we're not going to see it in this one, but it was a hopeless cause, chased in. I think it was Pearse O'Neill, was it, Jared, that went in after it? And he got the ball out to Donncha O'Connor, who's coming into a little bit of form now, very early in the second half. Fine player in his own right.
Well, it'll do his confidence an awful lot of good. Getting these scores now, we might see the very best of him. Can Kerry build upon that goal that they got 2 minutes into the second half? Ready to launch another attack. Declan O'Sullivan. Shields there for company. Change of direction, onto his left. Little chip in, stop by the goalkeeper, dangerous. Donaghy's there, Canty as well. And in the end, it's a 45.
Yeah, Canty doesn't agree. He thinks Kieran Donaghy kicked it out. We will see it here now, I'm sure. It's dangerous.
It's those moments that don't inspire wholesale confidence in that Cork full back line.
And it was Donaghy that kicked it out. That was his left foot that came forward. But these are the small things.
Yeah, but Brian Sheehan's more than willing to take what's given to them. Chance to make it a 2-point game once again. 25-year-old from St. Mary's, South Kerry. Catches it well, curls it in brilliantly. Another for Sheehan. First of the second half, 3rd in all from the 45. Lovely style, great rhythm and super technique. 1-8 to 1-6.
Yeah, how important does that become when we go back having the row about who kicked the ball out over the line for the 45?
If it's a 1-point game at the finish, yeah. Plenty to talk about tonight on the Sunday game, which, as you heard, is at the later time, 10 o'clock. Pearse O'Neill was battling. It comes towards Noel O'Leary, surrounded by Kerry players. Still does well to win a free kick for a jersey pull, the referee indicates. Free to Cork, which Shields has got to take. And he's been told to bring it forward, and Michael Shields does exactly that. Got that superb point in the first half. So from 65 metres out, wind behind him, inside towards Goulding, and he fisted it wide. It was a chance. 3rd wide by Cork. Still 2 between them.
The day was good though. Ball was holding long enough for him to get the fist on it. And that wasn't wide by a whole lot.
It was a good idea.
Yeah, they can go anywhere, of course, if you get a sweet connection on them.
Two men in the inside forward line for Cork in this second half. That is Paul Kerrigan and Daniel Goulding. Watch that right now, it's Paddy Kelly. Trying to sell dummies to Killian Young, trying to keep him out there on the edge. Still a good looking kick. It's a magnificent point and a first of the day for the Ballincollig player. The 24-year-old gets his first, and it's now Cork 1 goal and 9, Kerry 1 goal and 6.
Looked like it was out of steam, I thought, actually, that he had run his course, but got into a nice shooting position. It was still very tight. Took it brilliantly.
Well, he brings continuity and he brings creativity to the Cork middle third. And as you can see, a very accurate kicker given a chance. Fisted down by Derek Kavanagh. Oh, that was a challenge there by Paddy Cassan on the other number 7, Killian Young, but it was accidental. I think Killian Young turned into him. I don't think there was anything malevolent about that.
Ref was right beside it and immediately made his decision that there was no big deal in it, and I don't think there was, in all fairness. Well, he just took a big hit. He's got his free.
As he was going for it that time, Killian Young just changed direction and turned into a challenge, which I think the Cork player, this man here, Paddy Cassan, wasn't anticipating. Wasn't able to get out of the way, really.
He's a tough route, I'd say, if you meet him when he has a bit of momentum gathered. He'll put you sitting for a while, all right, and that's more or less what happened.
Killian Young was here 2 weeks ago as a fan, hurling fan, watching Cork play Tipperary. Back here as a player now, playing a full part in that half-back line. So 3 points the margin. Kerry have themselves a free kick. Tomas O'Shea's going to take it. Slipped forward for Galvin. Again, off he goes. The boos start. He does well. Dancing away from the challenger. Such quick feet. Anthony Marr now. Got a great point at Killarney. Getting assistance from Declan O'Sullivan. Back towards Colm Cooper. Lovely deception there to take it past Jamie O'Sullivan. Back in once again. Good block this time. O'Sullivan's got another go. And he puts it between the post and puts it over the bar. It was needed. And it's Declan O'Sullivan's second point of the match. We're back to a 2-point game again here. Really intriguing contest. Well, he was anticipating there because it came back from a block. Came back very favourably to him. That was that lovely little turn there by the Gooch.
He's played, actually, if you just take away the goal chance that he missed, Gooch is everything he touches is turning to something. He's having a terrific game.
Well, we've got some terrific players out there in front of us, as befits the teams who are rated the top 2 in the country in 2009. But it doesn't matter a whit this year. It's all about who's going to finish top of the pile in 2010. Noel O'Leary. Huge one down towards Goulding. Went off the fist. I thought of Tom O'Sullivan. And the umpire, I think, agrees, and it's going to be a 45. So a second 45 coming up.
Is Tom O'Sullivan hurt as well? Is that Tom O'Sullivan that's down, Ger? I think it is.
Yeah. They catch a trailing arm there.
Finger. I think in the glove, is it? Yeah.
Tom, who knows all about Cork, he's been based here as a member of the Gardaí. So the medical people required immediately to render attention to Tom. One of the 5 over 30s in the defence.
And you can see his finger is caught the top of the ball. That might be the evidence.
Very painful.
For the umpire, in fact. But that is painful. The doctor now trying to manipulate it. And there's the legs going up as he's just flicked it back into place. And a bit of strapping will get him going again. Mark O'Shea had something similar in the first half, hadn't he?
You've past experience of the second
I
half.
absolutely have. Because when the ball lands on top of your fingers, it's not pretty.
Well, Cork are ready to bring Owen Cadigan into the match. Man who starred here 2 weeks ago against Tipperary when he played fullback and played an absolute stormer in that match. Now Conor Coonahan there, and Gerard Sullivan and Jim Nolan there as well. Some of the selectors. Interesting how Conor starts the match up in the stand, having a quick look. and then gets down onto the bench, closer to the action, where he can gee up his team and give them an extra little spurt. Well, hopefully Tom will be okay and able to continue. 45 coming up. Daniel Goulding's got to be the taker. Crowd's got a bit quiet, and eventually the kick is taken, but the referee did blow his whistle. I think Daniel Goulding is put off by that, because I think he heard the referee whistling before he kicked it, and I think he was almost in his run and kicked it poorly.
Why didn't he stop?
Yeah, good question. I think he was anticipating a second go. He doesn't get one anyway, and there's got to be a change.
Well, he definitely didn't blow his whistle beforehand, but he's letting it run.
Here's Paul Kerrigan. Hasn't scored so far. Got 3 in Killarney. Again, Mark O'Shea tries to get tight on him. This time he avoids the block. Keeley takes it in much more comfortably than he was doing in the first half. Oh, that's a dispossession there of Seamus Scanlon. Killian Young back to help out. Held, free out for Kerry. Nervous moments. Breeze behind Cork, remember, for the second 35 minutes. And this time, free kick is going Cork's way as Tommy Griffin holds on too long.
That's an error now. That's a bad error right in the central position. And I think you'll find Goulding will wait for the whistle this time, and he'll also slot it. That's a bad turnover to give. Tommy Griffin come out of the defence, overcarried, overheld.
So this is a chance to open up a gap of 3 points again. Daniel Goulding, goal and 2 from the first half. That one is straight between the posts. So it's 110 to 1-7. 20 minutes to go. Well, Cork have now got themselves 4 points in the second half. Kerry have got themselves a goal and 2. Need to build upon it. Both these teams want to avoid going into the qualifiers. Neither side would be in the qualifiers that'll be drawn tonight in the 6 o'clock news on RTE1, because they are semi-finalists here, but they would be facing that prospect in round 2. Galvin inside towards Declan O'Sullivan, back once again towards Seamus Scanlon, trying to break away from Alan O'Connor. Declan O'Sullivan again, clipping it ahead here for Brian Sheehan. 3 points in the match so far. Shaking off the attention of Ray Kerry. Kerry looking for something special from this attack. Sheehan plays it out. Noel O'Leary there, Canty there as well. They both go for the same ball. The captain takes over. Canty gets it out as far as Alan O'Connor, the midfielder, looking to kick it away. Anywhere will do at this stage, but it's Kerry who get down, get the possession. Donncha Walsh and Mark O'Shea were in. There's Mark O'Shea, who's on the ground, and it's got to be a free in.
We've seen an awful lot of that today from Pat McEnany and refs in general, that once 2 tacklers come in and they're holding up, they tend to give them the advantage.
So change now made, and Owen Cadigan's coming on for Noel O'Leary. Kerry have a free, remember. The argument still rages, I suppose, in hurling and football circles, whether it's possible to play hurling and football at the top flight as Owen Cadigan has done. He's a young lad and he's enjoying it. And I think the respective managements are handling him very well also. Brian Sheehan right now. This is an opportunity that presents itself. Kicking into the breeze, and it's drifting to the left, and he's missed the opportunity. It was never easy.
It's a very strong wind. Viewers mightn't realise that. A lot of pressure on him, even just trying to get the distance right there, never mind the accuracy, just try to make the Cork goal.
I was looking at the flags that suggest the breeze is quite a contrary one. Broken down here to the waiting Paddy Kelly. How often he just waits for the big men to go in and jump, and he's no small fellow himself. Fine athlete. Kerry are going to make a change as well, and I have a feeling we might well see Micheál Quirk in a few minutes come in. That's a big one down towards Kieran Sheehan, but he can't hold on to it, and it's going to be a kick out for Kerry. So change now about to be made, and on comes Micheál Quirk. Going off Anthony Maher.
Now he'll be looking for big possessions off the kick-outs. That's his job. He's not as mobile, obviously, as Maher. And Maher didn't have a bad day's work now behind him either. Stayed
Problem
busy.
is, I suppose, from Jack O'Connor's point of view, he brought in David Moore and he brought in Anthony Maher. They were the two changes. He's now taken both of them off.
Yeah.
Gone back to the team that they started with in Killarney. As Alan O'Connor raids down in a cul-de-sac there. Kerrigan to try and funnel it back here. Kissan back as far as Donnacha O'Connor. Cork ahead by 3 points. Paddy Kelly now. 15 minutes still to play. Cork looking to get to the Munster final. Limerick already there. Kissan knocks it in. Griffin gets it out. Tom O'Sullivan comes to meet. There's Micheál Quirk, first contribution since coming in there, and he's fouled, and Kerry are going to make another change as well, and being prepared for them is their number 22, Barry John Keane. Problems at the back.
Ryan Sheehan is coming off, I think.
But now to try and rectify problems up front, it's Barry John Keane who comes on for Brian Sheehan. I think I got an official attendance there of 26,486. They're watching Killian Young. Kerry needs scores. Down he goes, it's a free in. It should be as good as a score, even considering the breeze that's there. So, Brian Sheehan has been substituted. Cork are now making a late change also, and Colm O'Neill is coming on, and the player going off will be Kieran Sheehan. So,
will it be Daniel Goulding, Jerry, even?
In fact, it's Daniel Goulding, correction, you're right.
Yeah, he got a good score up today.
Goal in 3. But this is kicked over by Colm Cooper, and the Gooch gets just his second point of the match, and they both come from frees. Interesting situation. 110 to 1-8. The issue is still very much in doubt, even though the elements favour Cork. Again, Kerry battle in the middle of the field, but it's Paddy Kelly, not for the first time, picks up another broken ball and feeds it down towards Colm O'Neill, and there's a wrestling match going on in there with Tom O'Sullivan. They both get up quickly. Mike McCarthy has it on as far as Seamus Scanlon. Players calling for it. We're in the 22nd minute of the second half. Mike McCarthy advanced. He was held there by Donnacha O'Connor. It's a free to Kerry. Rain coming down again. Kerry again tried to build something here, but that's snatched away from Donnacha Walsh. And it reaches Ray Carey. And again, the referee's whistle required. Free to Cork. Plenty of anxiety about the place, and Fintan Gould's about to come on for his 25th championship appearance. Number 19. There he is. Must be frustrating for him, and he's replacing another substitute, Derek Kavanagh. Gould, who's been a substitute so many times. This is down as far as Colm O'Neill. His jersey was being hauled back. The referee didn't seem to see it, the crowd did. Line ball to Kerry. Tom O'Sullivan taking it. Here's Tomas O'Shea, dispossessed. Pierce O'Neill in there, and the referee has blown his whistle. It's going to be a free to Cork, and Pierce O'Neill's punch in the air with delight. He's absolutely G'd up. Man loves playing matches against Kerry. And Kerry are bringing in Darren O'Sullivan in place of Donnacha Walsh. Another change.
Well, the benches have been fairly drained now, Ger. They're all making their plays for victory, both managements.
So Colm O'Neill. He's kicked some very good points against Kerry in the past. This one curling but not sufficiently. So it stays 110 to 1-8. Well, both managers now dipping deep into their panel of players, as you say, Kevin. And they always say it's a 20-man game. 15 on the field, 11 minutes to go. Who's going to win it? That was a big leap in the air, and it's a foul there by Pearse O'Neill on Micheál Quirk, results in a Kerry free kick. Tomás O'Shea has the ball brought forward by the referee 13 metres. Kicked poorly. Fintan Gould immediately went back, read it well, takes off, injects some pace, belts it downfield between two Kerry defenders. Onto it quickly here is Kieran Sheehan. Donnacha O'Connor thought about giving him a return pass, holds and waits. Now where's the end product here? Paddy Kelly again, having a terrific match. Inside to Pearse O'Neill. I saw through Alan O'Connor rather. It's O'Connor who lets fly, and he has put it wide. Wasted opportunity. 7 wides for Cork.
Really poor stuff from Cork now. At a vital time in the game, started hand passing over and back the field. That play should have gone down the left wing, but there was a big overload of Cork players. Got it back further out the field, and then the long speculative shot drifting wide.
10 minutes to go. Object of the exercise to win here and avoid the qualifiers as much as anything. It's Galvin. There was a neck-high challenge, got up quickly. Inside towards Barry John Keane, couldn't retain it however. Helped out over there by Tomás O'Shea. Mike McCarthy fisting it outside to Keane once again, the 20-year-old. Galvin. Inside it goes, promising attack by Kerry. Mike McCarthy inside to Colm Cooper, turned, tripped by Jamie O'Sullivan. That's going to be a free in. And what action will the referee take for the foul on Colm Cooper, with the match standing at 110 to 1-8?
It's a hand trip, and that's the yellow card only. That's all he can give him for it. It's a professional foul, of course, but it has to be a yellow. It's a hand trip. Footer hand trip is a yellow. But he was in for the goal, sure, wasn't he?
Yeah, somewhat cynical challenge by Jamie O'Sullivan. Takes the yellow card. That's a total of 5 yellow cards now by or given to Cork players. Cooper, this to put over the bar. His third, but far more significantly, it's now Cork 110. It's Kerry 1-9. Kerry are putting on late pressure. Cork hoping to hold on to their lead and maybe fall over the winning line.
They've lost their momentum. They won't fall over the winning line unless they put it in the spurt on. It's Kerry now that are making the real attacks and making them count.
That's a kick out which Cork failed to retain, but will do well to get a line ball out of it. Suddenly there's hesitation in Cork's play again. Owen Cadigan to kick this one in. In as far as Kelly. Did well, really well to take it that time. Good use of possession. Cadigan back towards Alan O'Connor, almost fumbled it but retained it. Gould slipping it down towards Colm O'Neill, and great tenacious challenge by Tom O'Sullivan, but Cork have the possession and a chance to mount an attack and maybe build another scoring opportunity.
He'll be going for close to a score if he gets this one right with that breeze, Ger. Far post, if he can get distance on it, and he'll bring it in.
Well, he kicked an absolute beauty from play in Killarney when it was most needed to make it 15-14 last week.
Yep.
Before the Gooch equalised. It's in there to be competed for. Sheehan back out towards Paddy Kassan, further back out towards Pearse O'Neill, having a go, chancing his luck, but putting it wide. 7 minutes are left, still only a 1-point game. Munster semi-final. Limerick await. It's so long since Cork last scored, 13 minutes almost.
Conor Coonan is down off the stand position. He's out patrolling the sideline. He's probably, like a lot of people, possibly thinking about a draw at this stage as well.
Well, you train all through the winter, all those long, hard nights, and you know darn well at some stage or other, Cork and Kerry are going to come face to face, maybe not once but twice. And the way things have gone in recent years, maybe there's a third time. Mike McCarthy, nothing, virtually nothing separating them. Barry John Keane, kicked in here towards Donaghy, can't hold it, Canty goes down, and Rich Cooper was after it, the boot went in, and the referee awards a free in to Kerry, and they can surely draw the level here.
He's trying to find out who tripped him. That's what Pat McEnany is at. He missed the trip, so doesn't know who did it.
Here. Well, Canty went across. He's protesting his innocence.
Canty's on a yellow.
Yeah, I know. Did the referee see as intentional? He obviously did. It's a second yellow, and Cork lose a man, and Graham Canty is red carded in the 65th minute for a second yellow. 15 will play 14 for the remaining 5 minutes. As you've intimated, Kevin, it could well go to additional time.
But Gooch has been brilliant, sir. I can't say that often enough. He's been on everything that Kerry have got to. Look how sharp he is here. He gets the toe poke too to take it away, and then he's taken out. But even before that, there's the touch.
No great argument from Graham Canty about it. Colm Cooper has this one. It'll be his third point of the second half and his fourth in all. They'll all have been from frees. How valuable is that one? 110 to 110. It was 15 all 7 days ago. No goals on that occasion. We've had 2 goals here by Daniel Goulding in the first half, by Kieran Donaghy 2 minutes into the second. People may say that Kerry and Cork beat too often. Tell you what, down here right now, don't tell that to the 26,000 people who are here in the ground. It's Alan O'Connor, the greatest of rivals. Up with Mike McCarthy again. Now is there a winner here for the Kingdom? Didn't seem all that terribly likely not all that long ago. Galvin will take it. They've got momentum.
And it was, I just want to point back, it was the Gooch that dispossessed that clearance, but it's straight back to his own team. Working really hard.
Declan O'Sullivan. Crafty, clever player. Held here by Killian Young. Seamus Scanlon never seems to get the praise he deserves. The 28-year-old from Corrow still holding it. And now it's Kerry's turn to tease and to torment Cork. Cork are chasing. Tomás O'Shea's after it. It runs away from him. Shields went down. Out in the end came Donaghy O'Connor, helping out at the back. Way back there is Kieran Sheehan. Everybody's required. The full forward back in the full back position. Kerry have a player down on the ground. Cork with 14. Kerry with 15. Kieran Sheehan. It comes straight back off Tommy Griffin that time. Reaches Pierce O'Neill. Is there a winner here in the dying minutes of this match? Who's going to get it? Fintan Gould over there by the sideline, trying to wriggle his way in. It's a free to Cork. The Gooch was back defending, foul committed. There'll be another change in a few minutes' time, but right now Kerry thinking about another change, but they're waiting and delaying for a moment. Player who'll be coming on will be Daniel Bohan.
It's a massive kick for Donaghy O'Connor. With the wind, he'll surely go for it, Joe. A couple of minutes left. It's vital one now.
So Daniel Bohan comes on for the injured Tomás O'Shea.
I think so, yeah. He went for a kind of a jab lift up in the far corner, hurt himself, tumbled over.
Big, huge cheer for Tomás O'Shea going off, as I mentioned, playing against Cork today for the 23rd time. 68 minutes are gone at Porky Queeve, and Donaghy O'Connor is kicking. It's travelling. It's stopped by Quirk. It's still there, and it's put over the bar. Kieran Sheehan, I think, has got it.
Maybe. Wasn't Colm O'Neill, was it, sir?
Let's just look at it again.
He swings a funny left at it. It didn't look like Sheehan's left.
That's Sheehan.
Good man, that's him.
Second point for Kieran Sheehan, the lead. Brendan Keeley kicking, dropping into the middle of the park. Mark O'Shea, only one O'Shea on the Kerry team right now. Kerry trailing, 111-110. Killian Young ready to torment the Cork backs again. It's Darren O'Sullivan. Galvin. They've got a player loose inside. It was Bohan, totally unmarked. Kerry have an extra man, remember. Quirk inside to Donaghy. Hand pass back. Declan O'Sullivan. Can he salvage something for Kerry yet? Save the game for them. They've lost it. Play has been turned over. And the player in possession back there is Owen Cadigan. Referee whistling furiously. Arms pointing. Fingers pointing. And the referee anxious and determined to maintain peace and calmness, if that's possible, at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Frustration spilling over. Just look at the pictures you're watching at right now. Cadigan, Galvin, central figures in the drama. Cork made another change while that was going on. Kevin McMahon came on for Paul Kerrigan. There's a yellow card dished out to Kieran Donaghy. All happening in the 70th minute. It's still Cork who are winning the match by 111 to 110. That Kieran Sheehan point a few minutes ago, going over the bar. There'll be 2 minutes of added time from now. Who's going to win at Páirc Uí Chaoimh in the Munster semi-final between the age-old rivals in football, Cork and Kerry? Quirk's kick, huge one. Cork with the breeze, Kerry with the man, the extra man. It's another free to Cork, the referee has decided. That decision greeted with wild cheering by the crowds here. Some of them a little sopping at this stage because of the rain that's been falling down. Jack O'Connell again looks very concerned. They're facing a summer in the qualifiers if they can't draw level. It's Donnacha O'Connor's free. It goes up into the clouds. Pigeons have been knocked down with that one. That time it was Quirk who got it, held, free out. There'll be another minute to play of injury time. Kerry need to bring the ball forward. The referee says count forward 13 metres. Quickly taken by Galvin. Back once again to the great man himself, last year's Footballer of the Year. Kerry need a scoring opportunity. Will they get it yet? Bohan, the substitute, coming in here. Normally a defender. Slipping it in towards Kieran Donaghy. Is there a scoring chance for Kerry to get a point? Mark O'Shea, 45 seconds of the 2 minutes to play. 1 point the margin. O'Shea's in. O'Shea's kick, and he's drawn the game. Got it. What a point by Mark O'Shea. What a time to get just your 8th ever point in championship football. That is a beauty. The two teams level on scoring chances as well. 21 scoring chances each, 12 scoring chances taken per team. There you have it, 111 to 111. We are looking at extra time.
They sure are. Everybody was afraid to tackle him and give away the free, and ended up he got the run on goal. And no better man because he's an extremely accurate corner back over the bar.
Some match. And the referee has blown his whistle at the end of 2 minutes of added time, and we are heading for extra time. 2 10-minute periods then. Paul Galvin came on and lifted, inspired Kerry when it was looking like the tide was going very firmly against them. They had the character and the resolution to come back and challenge after Kieran Sheehan had kicked it over his shoulder and over the bar to give Cork the lead at one stage. But it finishes Cork 111, Kerry 111. We're headed for extra time, Michael.
We have a short break coming up after that. That's extra time from this afternoon's replay in Munster. OK, so then here this afternoon, it's Cork 111, Kerry 111, and we are headed for extra time. And by the way, in Croke Park between Meath and Laois, they're also into extra time in that Leinster Championship match. Tony Davis, Joe Bradley and Pat Spadane with me here in the studio. And by the way, one other thing to point out to you, that Cork now will be back to 15 players again for that extra time period. That is the rule. Tony, different day, same story. You were leading the match and it's a draw.
Groundhog Day. And fair play to Mark O'Shea. I suppose he showed a bit of composure really that the Cork guys didn't have. He came up the field, got the scores. Gooch is kicking over frees. Donnacha O'Connor had a free there with about 2 minutes to go and he kicked it straight up into the air. That's the difference in composure between Cork and Kerry. Kerry have the likes of Mark O'Shea that will take it on. But the crucial thing in that was Graham Canty sending off. I don't even think it was a free. I think Pat McInnes actually having a poor day. I don't think it was even a free. And he gave him a yellow card for a second yellow. He was gone.
Let's flip this over, Pat. You survived it down in Killarney last weekend. You've survived it into extra time today. Now, how long can Kerry keep this up?
Good question. Old dog for the long road. Kerry don't do panic. When leaders were needed, when fellas were needed to take responsibility for the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, again, Kerry weren't found wanting. Listen, Michael, for excitement, entertainment, intensity, sporting action of the highest value. This was a roller coaster ride of the best in sport. And if anyone is still watching Serbia and Ghana switch over, this was watched by 70,000 people over the last 2 weeks. And almost 750,000 TV audience. And look, it was it's edge of the seat stuff that no team deserves.
And I hope the commentator on Serbia and Ghana is giving them the same advice to switch back again. Joe Brodie, what did you make of it? We're in for more entertainment, by the way.
Well, I just think that the story is Cork's lack of confidence last week and again today, embodied by the last 10 minutes. Whenever they aimlessly kicked the ball away, they panicked, they kicked the ball up in the air. Donnacha O'Connor had 2 frees. It sort of summed it up. It's really, again, it's Cork's sheer work rate and endeavour against Kerry's absolute refinement. And, whenever the chances presented themselves for Kerry were able to take them. Cork's inside forward line bring no threat whatsoever. I mean, there's been no threat whatsoever in there.
The problem, Joe, was that Cork persisted in kicking long ball in fact. Like, they would have been better varying it. And just Kerry knew at that stage that Cork were going to give it in long with the wind. And they should vary it a little bit, really.
But you see, Tony, I don't know if you saw there, the toss now, Cork, their goalkeeper, Alan Quirk, has decided to play, as we're looking at it, from left to right for this first period of extra time.
That's against the wind, is it, Michael? Yeah, so we're back as we were in the main game where it started.
Exactly.
So it's 10 minutes aside.
It's all about coping
10 minutes,
with
here we go.
Extra
time, first period. Let's go back to Kevin and Ger.
And welcome back to our Serbian and Ghanaian audiences as well. We're ready for the action. Thoroughly enjoyable so far, as Pat's been saying. So Cork will have the breeze for the opening 10 minutes. Alan Quirk went for the toss. He's the captain at this stage, as Graham Canty is off, having been sent off for the second yellow. Mike McCarthy, challenged by Kelly, does well. And Kerry now, I think, will be quite happy if they can keep it tight for the opening 10 minutes, this first half of extra time. Kicked back in there. Huge one in towards Sheehan, breaks back out again. Bohan runs into a challenge there. Gould doing the challenging. Good tear away here by Darren O'Sullivan. Again, Fintan Gould tries to go across and challenge him, but challenging so well, that's the end result. He ends up on the deck.
I'm trying to figure out who came on for Graham Canty at the minute, Ger, and I'm looking everywhere and I just can't see the new face at the minute.
Let me just have a quick scan of the...
Well, they are back to 15, I can confirm that much.
Kevin McMahon is in.
23.
Just a little bit of restructuring. And once again, it is Declan O'Sullivan here. Shields tries to keep him out. Oh, he wriggles his way in brilliantly and gets him with a scoring chance, and he puts it wide. Bit of debate about that. The umpires weren't absolutely 100%, and Declan O'Sullivan certainly was convinced it was inside the left-hand post.
Yeah, it looked wide, certainly, from our position. I felt it was anyway. Just drifts across it.
Camera angle is difficult to say. That's Kevin McMahon, who's... I remember him for a goal he scored against Meath in the 2007 All-Ireland semi-final in Croke Park. Not part of the scene in recent times, but that's a good catch there by Pierce O'Neill. Cork need to mount a few attacks. 2 minutes of the opening 10-minute period of extra time's been played. Kelly's gone scampering away down that left-hand side. Quick dodge inside and out. Killian Young keeping him company. Colm O'Neill. Back once again it comes. McMahon now holding it up. trying to make some inroads. Not easy against Mike McCarthy, whose defence has been very good all through. Fintan Gould letting fly, and that one goes over the bar. Good point by the young man from Macroom, Fintan Gould, star of a Cork under-21 winning team with Daniel Goulding a few years ago. So 112 to 111.
Another lovely slicer. We've seen so many of them this season. They must be packed them like Billy O down in their fields. Fantastic, fantastic shot.
Well, the rain still comes down here. Damp afternoon. Galvin looking to take a free kick, takes it quickly as far as Declan O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan left-footed forward towards Barry John Keane, the Kerrins O'Rahilly player. Two Cork men there for company, trying to dispossess him. John Miskell is over there also, number 24, one of the changes made at the start of the extra time period. Alan O'Connor now, he's slung around there by Quirk, and Big Mihal concedes a free kick. Referee gets the notebook again, and it'll be Mihal Quirk, also from Kerrins O'Rahilly in Tralee.
Anything that's up around the neck, I was actually talking to Pat myself this morning for a while in the hotel, and anything that's up around the neck and it's dangerous, they're going to be having a word with you.
That's taken by John Miskela. Right in the thick of the action there was Kevin McMahon, battling hard. Pierce O'Neill takes the free kick down towards Donnacha O'Connor, dodging around Mark O'Shea. Kerry's hero at the end of normal time. On it goes, and that one is kicked wide. Wasted opportunity there by Kevin McMahon of Carberry Rangers. So 9 wides for Cork now in the match as a whole, 9 wides for Kerry as well.
Sure, I'm watching John Miskell over on the far side, number 24, now picking up Darren O'Sullivan. Did he slip in when I wasn't looking?
I think a lot of things slipped in when we weren't looking. It happens when the match goes to extra time. That's fisted back in again powerfully by O'Neill, picked up by Mark O'Shea. Seamus Scanlon rapidly outside here to Killian Young. Kerry trying to contain into the breeze they're playing, remember, 15 against 15 once again, and Galvin's up, still does well, into Barry John Keane. Now where's it going to go from here? Kicked in towards Colm Cooper, given the supply, he causes mayhem inside. What a game he's played. He's hauled down, and it's a free in. Chance to level the game again, and that man Cooper has been sensational in Páirc Uí Chaoimh this afternoon. There's been no holding him. They've tried.
And to swap corners as well, to put Ray Kerry on him because Jamie Sullivan was carrying the yellow, and it still makes no difference there because this fella is pure magic.
So a point here coming in the 6th minute of the first period of extra time will do Kerry very nicely, and it's over the bar. For the record, that's his 5th point in all in the match. They've all come from frees. 112 to 112. 2 periods of 10 minutes. That's the rule. If they're level at the end of that, it'll be a 3rd match. Quirk. And this is won by Darren O'Sullivan. Attacked the ball well. Wins a free kick. Suddenly it's all Kerry. Cooper again. Into Donaghy. Given space. Cadigan slow to get to him. Barry John Keane strikes and puts it between the post and over the bar. His first point since coming on here. Great score by Barry John Keane. So that's his 4th.
Yeah, he's been very busy. You know, he's dangerous, he's getting on the ball. Must make a point about Paul Galvin there since he came on. He has been savage. He's everywhere. He's getting, you know, don't worry about the dirty ball. He's playing great football as well. He's carrying and passing and really good inside passing.
Adrian O'Connell from St Michael's Foylemore is coming on for Kerry as Galvin has it again. All of a sudden they're just taking the game and exerting complete control. O'Sullivan's kick here is outside the post. That's gone wide. We were right in line behind it. That's a good decision. I think that was wide. No question. So it's Killian Young who's gone off to be replaced by the man from Foilmore. That's St. Michael's Foilmore, Adrian O'Connell.
3 more subs each, of course, in extra time allowed. So they will fairly drain the bench before this one is finished.
Quirk is under this. Gould got a touch to it. Quirk gets it, however. Falls back to Paddy Kassan. This is a huge test now of Cork. Having fallen a point behind, having had the breeze behind them, and it's still a strong enough breeze. Fintan Gould got a lovely point earlier on, down towards Donnacha O'Connor. 3 Kerry men get back goal side. Gould kicks it. It's going askew, well to the left-hand side. Still in play, however, battling for it. Colm O'Neill's in there, ruggedly trying to take it ahead of the Kerry men out to Kevin McMahon, and his shot has gone to the right, and it's gone wide. Wasted opportunity.
There's a chance. I expect him to get it closer than he did. Kevin McMahon. But it's gone to the right. Everyone now really crucial. Team's getting tired, of course, and that adds to the inaccuracy. And the ball's been turned over.
Only a point between them, but that breeze supporting Kerry for the first 10 minutes of this extra time. Middle of the park, they try to break it down, and again Seamus Scanlon goes in, tries to make it his, as if his life depended on that. Fouled in the process. Free kick once again to the Kingdom. Mike McCarthy, the taker, came back into the Kerry panel about this time last year when Kerry were dispatched to the qualifiers. This year they're hoping to do the dispatching and send Cork on their way. They're ahead by a point. Barry John Keane challenged by Jamie O'Sullivan. Again, it's Kieran Donaghy. Little fist inside to Barry John Keane. Real tricky operator, this man. He's got another score. 2 points in additional time for Barry John Keane. He got 4 points before coming into this match in his championship career, embryonic career, and now he's got 2 more.
Look at the vision there, Ger, from Donaghy. Ball stuck on the sideline. He gets it up under control, and a lovely hand pass into space that sets off Keane on his bicycle, and then flings it over the bar. 2 up.
2 up in a major match in the Munster semi-final. It's not just about getting to the Munster final, as we've said before. Whoever loses this match, it's going to be a major, major blow to their hopes of making serious progress in 2010. There'll be another 10 minutes after this as the referee blows for half-time in extra time, and that was a very good half for Kerry. They seized the initiative, they got the points. Barry John Keane with 2, Kerry 111, Cork 112. Let's go back to Michael.
Yeah, it's getting tighter and tighter, isn't it? Joe Bradley, let's get your thoughts on this one at this stage. The advantage certainly over that period of time anyways, moving towards Kerry.
Yeah, I mean, they're the better footballers, you know, they're creating much better opportunities. They've just got, you know, the vision, the flair, the skills. Cork aren't penetrating at all, and it gets more and more difficult to sustain your effort when you're shooting from 40, 50 metres as Cork are. I mean, Kerry's scores are coming in front of the post, and you've got that triangle now of Sullivan, Starr, Gooch, with Barry John Keane playing off them, and it really now as the game opens up, it's really difficult. It's difficult to see anything other than Kerry.
Tony, there we saw in the huddle there, the Cork huddle, the man in the tracksuit top, Graham Canty. They could do with him now for this period.
Absolutely, and like we saw a ball in there, and Donny was out in front, won it easily. He wouldn't have won it so much with Canty there. But Kerry are showing more composure really. Cork are, like we saw Kevin McMahon shooting there, we saw Pierce O'Neill shooting. Like they're shooting from difficult angles, whereas Barry John was picked out by Donaghy twice and took good scores, and he had even a goal opportunity.
Yeah, well, you've got to compliment Jack O'Connor, because certainly the 3 substitutions, Barry John Keane, 2 points in this half, Mike Quirk has taken over midfield, and Paul Galvin, look, say what you like about, love him, hate him, but you can never run out of superlatives to say the guy is absolutely playing a blinder there. He's picking up all the dirty ball, showing great vision. He's never dispossessed. He's just the man is absolutely magnificent there.
Again, Pat, you can clearly contrast the Cork panic, which is what is the 50-yard shots, with Kerry's absolute relaxation when it comes to the key point of the game. And I mean, again, it's hard to sort of not to feel that Kerry are once again emphasising the natural order? Like,
well, I wouldn't agree with that, Joe, because the game
not
isn't
going to write
over
the
yet.
record,
I still think the game is there for them. They just need a little more composure in the second half.
And I'm sure that's what Conor Coonhan was saying to them there a second ago. So there's 10 minutes to get into the Munster final. Who'll it be? Back to Kevin and to Ger.
Cork have made 2 changes, Michael, at the start of this extra time period. They've taken off John Miskella, they've taken off Jamie O'Sullivan, and they have brought on 2 players, Owen Cotter, and I saw Noel O'Leary go back in as well. He's back in and he's marking Darren O'Sullivan. This is it, folks. This is where it all counts. This is where the summer and the weeks ahead are going to be determined who's going to be heading on the qualifiers. And it's no holiday. It's Kerry or it's Cork. It's advantage Kerry, and 10 minutes left. So straight away, it's Fintan Gould taking off like a train. Who's going to stop him? Back in once again it comes to McMahon. Missed a chance in the first period of extra time. He's got Gould available. Kissan's calling for it. Remember the 3 points he got from a distance in Killarney last week? Kelly has played his part, a big part, but he's kicked this one left and he's kicked it wide. And that was the first of those chances coming Cork's way to try and close the gap. 1:14, 1:12. Brendan Keeley ready to kick this one. Again, the flags around the place will indicate the breeze very definitely behind Kerry. Cork has that one fisted away from him, and it's back with Cork again, and it's with McMahon. And taking off here is Paddy Kissan, but he's lost it. And there was a push, and it's a free to Kerry.
There's a chance.
Player open ground. Adrian O'Connell.
He had open ground there, but he lost.
Mike McCarthy picks out Paul Galvin. Galvin has a support player to his right, but he holds on, frustrates Cork. Fintan Gould trying to take it from him, and Fintan Gould goes for the unorthodox and can expect the referee to dish out a yellow card.
Nice change of pace, and I would have done nicely last night. The bit I was watching the All Blacks.
I was wondering which sport you were thinking about, the English soccer team. Anyway, free coming up as Fintan Gould gets a yellow. Galvin the taker. Darren O'Sullivan taking a chest tie. Cooper comes. There's no holding him. Now he's buzzing no matter where he goes. Seamus Scanlon nicely inside here. Again, support player Daniel Bohan, the Oscar Stacks man, losing it here. Alan O'Connor. Cork need to get the ball forward. We're in the 3rd minute already of the 2nd period of added time as Kieran Sheehan goes down, fouled by Tommy Griffin. The referee points in the direction of Tommy's goal. It's going to be a free to Cork. Sheehan down injured. Physio in straight away to attend to him. Oof, that leg came across there and made contact.
The last thing Cork actually need now is delay for injury, but he's going to have a word with Tommy Griffin.
Might well do so, because he's shown him a yellow and decided that that wasn't terribly sporting by Tommy Griffin of Dingle. Kerry will be hoping to hold on, ahead by 2. Cork to try and take it back. Kevin McMahon takes off. Darren O'Sullivan brilliantly gets back, steals it from him. Away by O'Connell, out as far as Declan O'Sullivan. Galvin now taking the heat off his defence, down to Daniel Bohan. He's played impressively since coming on, held on to the ball securely and given Kerry options. But it's about Galvin right now. He absolutely loves playing against Cork. Get that feeling. Cork still the possession with Kerry as they shave seconds off the clock, and it's back by Cork to Declan O'Sullivan again. All the hand passes resulting in quality possession, and this time the challenge by Fintan Gould, who's already got himself a yellow card. He's got to be careful.
A bang in the head when Gould came in to tackle him, put him down pretty quickly.
As I say, he's got to be careful on that yellow. So the doctor required once again. all of this frustrating for the fans, I'm sure for the players as well. Declan O'Sullivan, Jack will be glad to see him back on his feet again there alongside Eamon Fitzmaurice, one of the selectors, along with Ger O'Keefe, of course. Hoping to hold on to their All-Ireland crown. Step number one to try and get into the Munster final. That's a brilliant ball as far as Colin Cooper, and the Gooch kicks it off the post, and Cork get a let off, and it's back to Owen Cotter. Away it comes. Further out the field to Paddy Kassan. Kerry rescued the match in normal time with a late point by Mark O'Shea. Cork have now got to do a bit of rescuing of their own. Paddy Kassan up to Kevin McMahon, trying to take it on. Kerry back in numbers, slipping it in there. Alan O'Connor can't hold it. O'Leary can. Noel O'Leary puts it high and over the bar. Noel O'Leary cuts the gap to a solitary point. It's 114 to 113. O'Leary, playing in his 27th championship match, gets a rare score.
Possession vital now.
Another change coming up, and John Hayes is going in for Donncha O'Connor. That'll be the third and final change they can make, Cork, in the period of extra time that we're watching right now. Brought on 2 men at the break. 4 minutes to go, but there was a little stoppage. The referee might add an extra minute. So an intriguing last 4 to 5 minutes, no matter how you look at it. Bohan slips it through a group of players. Quirk suddenly realised the ball was there to be won. Off he goes. Possession with the Gooch once again. Pushed in the back by Ray Carey. Referee quickly on the spot. But there's been no containing Colin Cooper from Dr. Crokes. An absolutely marvellous performance, playing for Kerry today for the 57th time. He's contributed 5 points so far. Kerry are going to make a change. They're going to bring back on Donncha Walsh, and they're going to take out Seamus Scanlon. Scanlon looks a little tired. He's run himself into the ground. Off he goes, and Walsh, who played for most of the original 70 minutes, is back on. Cooper about to kick. Kerry by 1. It's going well to the right. He's missed it. 3 minutes left on the clock. Just listen to the crowd now, getting more and more animated. A match nobody wants to lose.
I'd suggest maybe there's one thing they don't want is another draw, Ger. Would someone take a defeat? Hardly, but a draw would get. Now we're talking groundhog.
Right now Kerry have the bit between their teeth. They have the advantage, they have the possession. Barry John Keane challenged over there strongly. Number 18 is Owen Cotter from Douglas. It's Declan O'Sullivan who has it back, slips it outside to Mike McCarthy. Last couple of minutes, there's a push inside, and that's going to be a free in.
On Cadigan, isn't it?
Furious Cadigan.
He's not happy, Ger. He felt he had the front position.
On Donaghy. 2 Douglas men at the back there for Cork right now. The 2 Owens, Connor and Cadigan, still talking away. But once the referee blew his whistle, it was practically as good as awarding Kerry a point.
Going to use his right foot for this one.
Left or right. 19 minutes into extra time, he kicks and he puts it over the bar, and it's another for the Gooch and another for Kerry. So it's 115 to 113 late in extra time, and now you get the feeling that only a goal will save Cork from the perils of the qualifiers, something Jack O'Connor knows all about. Jersey pulling as well in the middle of the park here. Referee had the whistle to his lips, eventually blows when he saw the ball handled on the ground, free to Cork. It's going to be taken by Michael Shields. Kerry retreat, get the men back. Kelly carries it on the wing forward. Declan O'Sullivan trying to close the gap on him. This is McMahon. This is forward for Owen Cadigan. Oh, hefty challenge here from Bohan. And that's going to result in a free in. So free in a way.
Well, the clever play here now is take your point, get back out and try and win the possession for the equalising point. There's nothing else other than a point in this.
Free taker is going to be John Hayes. Declan O'Sullivan gets a yellow card.
I didn't think it was him that actually made the tackle. I thought it was Bohan, wasn't it?
Bohan did make the tackle, yeah. The manager watches. John Hayes, ball in hands. Ball over the bar. That was very, very close to being wide, wasn't it?
It surely was.
John Hayes anyways put it over, and it's now 1:15 to 1:14, and there's 1 minute of added time now being played. Once the ball's been kicked out here, now we're talking about a real pressure. 60 seconds. It may be of Munster football, but it's championship football, GAA championship football we're talking about. Two of the big two, the heavy hitters, the All-Ireland champions against the Munster